Nothing is more important in any kind of legitimately functioning democracy than that of free and fair elections. Otherwise, it's no longer about the will of the people. It's about the manipulation by the few insiders, the few political supremacists in charge who believe that they and they alone have a duty, of course, in the name of the people, to be the ones in power, because they're looking out for your best interests, of course. Without election integrity, every elected official, every ordinance, every law, every appointment to a position of power, indeed, every action of government can rightfully be looked at with a crooked eye if we don't trust our elections. This crooked view of our nation's election process is held by many. How many Americans see it right now? You know, in recent years, the integrity of the election process across many states in America, here in Rhode Island, it's been brought into question. There's a focus on it now. We've been interviewing a lot of people who try to bring some information to that debate. Up to you to judge whether it's credible or not, as you will with our guest today. There are many facets to the larger concept of election integrity, and there are many ways that elections can be rigged. Some of them are clearly illegal. Some of them are actually legal, believe it or not, if somebody chooses to take advantage of it. But when the public becomes aware of any kind of such rigging in our elections, truly, and indeed, our faith in our elected officials and in our very own government becomes greatly diminished. I mean, think about it. Among the many overall components of election integrity, you know, who is legally eligible to vote? Are people being properly and verifiably registered to vote? What kind of get out the vote activities are legal or not legal? How are ballots cast? How are they verified? How are they counted? Big and important questions. For how long a period should people be able to register or be able to vote? Are voter rolls being effectively maintained? When people die or move, are they being or become a felon? Are they being taken off the rolls? Are third-party private groups spending millions and millions of dollars to influence the operations of government election offices? Good questions. Have changes to our state's election process been made constitutionally with the approval of our elected officials in the state legislature? Or have they been made unconstitutionally without such approval by executive fiat or by some court order, neither of which has constitutional authority, but yet they do it? Who, what, and to what limit should individuals or corporations be allowed to contribute to campaigns? And to what degree of transparency? What's reported, what's not reported? These are important questions. Do we have open primaries or closed primaries? Do we have ranked choice voting or runoff elections? Or do we allow someone with less than 50% to enter office if there's more than a two-way race? The list could go on. But the one issue that gets more attention than any other is the question of election fraud. You've heard us say often over the years on this show that in our democracy, at least here in America, and probably anywhere, an election system should make it easy to vote for those who want to vote, but hard to cheat if there are some disposed to try to do so. But it's my personal view, and that of many of you as well, that in order to gain some kind of partisan advantage, and it goes both ways in both parties, many states, especially here in Rhode Island, have made it so easy to vote that they've also made it easy to cheat. Now, is that cheating going on? Is it done fraudulently? Is it done legally? Is it done illegally? So this question of election fraud, what is fraud, is perhaps the thorniest of all the questions that people are asking. Is there proof of fraud? Is there just evidence of such? If there is proof or evidence, is it systematic? Or is it just a collection of isolated individual instances? Is it massive enough to swing presidential elections and the electoral count in a state? Or is it significant enough to swing, state or local elections? Or is it even big enough to swing a race for the local dog catcher? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. If our election laws have loopholes in it that people can take advantage of and cast fraudulent votes, then those loopholes must be closed, whether people are taking advantage of it in a significant way or not. But as you know, today, most election fraud claims are dismissed as just people, mindless Trump advocates looking to relitigate, looking backwards at the 2020 election and trying to find some way to put Donald Trump back in power. That's crazy, of course. For me, these questions need to keep coming up because I take, like most of the people I talk to, we take a forward-looking approach. We want to close those loopholes to make future elections more secure and raise the integrity.